Here are the 17 cars broke people should buy right now, all under $5,000. Think a rock-solid car costs a fortune? Think again. Picture a truck or sedan you can buy for pocket change, drive for years, and never cry over a blown engine. These are simple, tough machines with parts you can fix with a wrench and a weekend. They don't need fancy tech to survive. They just keep going. But here's the twist. Nobody tells you. Some cheap cars wear a hidden scar, a tiny design change, a secret repair cost, or a market trap that can turn a great deal into a disaster. Dealers and sellers quietly bury this stuff in paperwork. One bad detail and your forever car becomes a money pit. In this video, we'll name the 17 models, show the one test that separates legends from lemons, and reveal the cheap fix that keeps them running. Which of these dirt-cheap trucks and cars will save you? And which will leave you stranded and broke? Let's kick off the countdown with a sedan so common and reliable, it builds the foundation for our entire list. Number 17. Number 17, the 2002 to 2011 Toyota Camry is the car that built its reputation on outlasting the competition while costing next to nothing to keep on the road. Owners regularly push these Camrys past 250,000 miles with nothing more than oil changes, brake pads, and the occasional water pump, parts that rarely run over $40. The secret is simple engineering. The 4-cylinder and V6 engines are built to take abuse, and most repairs are weekend projects, not wallet busters. Before you buy, do the broke man's test. Start it cold and watch for blue smoke. If you see it, the engine's burning oil and you walk away. Pop the oil cap and check for thick sludge. A clean cap means the last owner actually cared. No fancy tech, no dealer-only parts, just an honest sedan that keeps working long after the payments stop. Number 16, the 2001 to 2011 Honda Civic is the compact that every backyard mechanic dreams about. Cheap parts, endless how-to videos, and a reputation for running forever. But there's a catch the industry rarely admits. The infamous cracked engine block, especially on 2006 to 2009 models. Sellers and dealers don't mention it, but one pressure test can save you from an $1,800 engine swap. Rent a cooling system pressure kit, often free at auto parts stores. Hook it up cold and watch for any drop in pressure or coolant seepage along the passenger side of the block. If it holds, you've got a Civic that'll take abuse and rack up 300,000 miles with just oil and filters. If not, you're staring down a money pit. This is the car that proves even legends can hide a fatal flaw if you don't know the test. Number 15, the 2003 to 2012 Honda Accord is the roomy sedan that survived everything from family road trips to taxi duty, and still keeps going when most rivals have long since tapped out. With a reputation for reaching 400,000 miles when serviced, the Accord's 4-cylinder and V6 engines are just the beginning. The real secret to making these cars last isn't under the hood, it's in the transmission. Here's the test the dealers hope you skip. Take the Accord up a hill or merge onto the highway and feel for any hesitation or slipping as the car shifts gears. If the engine revs but the speed lags behind, that's torque converter slip, a warning sign that could cost you $900 for a used transmission swap. But if it pulls clean and steady, you've got a car built for the long haul, with enough space and comfort to make luxury brands look like a waste of money. Number 14, the 2003 to 2012 Toyota Corolla is the definition of no-nonsense reliability for anyone who needs a car that just works. Under the hood, you'll find a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine. No turbos, no gimmicks, just a power plant that shrugs off abuse and keeps running on regular gas. The Corolla's secret weapon is its massive parts compatibility. Everything from ignition coils to door handles swaps straight from a dozen other Toyotas, including the Matrix and even some Camrys, which means junkyard finds and cheap aftermarket fixes are everywhere. Before you hand over cash, there's one test every broke buyer should do. Pop the hood, unplug a spark coil one at a time while it's idling, and listen for changes. If it stumbles each time, you've got healthy coils and injectors. Next, pull up the rear seat and check the fuel pump access. If the engine struggles at high speed, a $60 pump swap can revive it in an afternoon. No fancy scan tools, no dealer-only repairs, just a simple, honest car that keeps you out of the mechanic's waiting room and on the road for years. Number 13, the 2005 to 2012 Toyota Avalon is the full-size sedan for anyone who wants a plush ride and a V6 engine without the repair bills that haunt luxury brands. Under that long hood sits the same 3.5-liter V6 found in the Camry, tuned for smooth power and easy highway cruising. The Avalon's real draw is comfort, quiet cabin, soft seats, and enough legroom to shame most new crossovers, all for less than $5,000. But here's the catch the salesman won't mention. Some Avalons burn oil as they age, thanks to piston ring quirks that Toyota quietly addressed in technical service bulletins. Before you buy, pull the dipstick after the car's been idling and check for low oil or dark, burnt-smelling fluid. For a deeper check, grab a spark plug socket and pull one plug from each bank. If the tips are black and oily, the engine's burning oil and you'll be topping off every 1,000 miles. A leak-down tester, which costs under $40 at most parts stores, can flag worn rings in minutes. The Avalon rewards careful buyers with Lexus comfort on a broke man's budget, but only if you know how to spot the hidden oil habit before it empties your wallet. Number 12, the 2004 to 2013 Mazda 3 delivers that rare mix of driving fun and old-school reliability. If you stick to the 2.0-liter non-turbo engine, Mazda's 2.0 is a simple, chain-driven four-cylinder known to rack up 200,000 miles or more on basic maintenance, and parts are dirt cheap thanks to shared platforms with Ford and Mazda sedans. But here's where the car industry's games catch broke buyers off guard. The 2.3-liter and turbocharged versions look tempting, but they're notorious for burning oil and eating head gaskets, with turbo rebuilds costing more than the car itself. The smart move is to pop the hood, check the VIN for the 2.0, and avoid anything with a turbo badge or Mazda speed on the back. With the right engine, you get sharp handling, a comfortable ride, and repairs that won't leave you broke. The wrong engine, though, turns this bargain into a nightmare. Stick to the 2.0 and enjoy a sporty compact that's built to last. Number 11, the 2003 to 2008 Pontiac Vibe and Toyota Matrix is the hatchback. The car industry never wanted you to notice Toyota's legendary reliability hidden under GM sheet metal, with a wagon body that hauls everything from tools to groceries. Under the hood, you'll find the same bulletproof 1.8-liter engine and transmission as the Corolla, so every critical part is interchangeable and dirt cheap at the junkyard. The low demand for these quirky wagons means you can score one for less than a beat-up Civic, and most have been used for commuting or family errands, not street racing. But here's the move that saves you from disaster. Get on the ground and check the rear suspension for bounce or axle play. If the struts sag or you hear clunks over bumps, it could be flood or crash damage. Dealers rarely disclose this, but a strut assembly swap runs about $120 and can turn a sketchy car into a road trip hero. With the rear seats down, You get van-like cargo space in a compact footprint, making this one of the most practical, overlooked bargains for broke buyers who need utility and reliability in one shot. Number 10. The 2007 to 2012 Honda Fit is the subcompact hatchback that laughs at city traffic and tight parking while squeezing utility out of every inch. Powered by a thrifty 1.5-liter four-cylinder, the Fit sips fuel. Expect 28 to 34 miles per gallon in the real world, even with the automatic transmission. But the Fit's real magic is inside. Honda's Magic Seat system lets you fold, flip, and flatten the rear seats to unlock a jaw-dropping 52 cubic feet of cargo space. You can haul a mountain bike, a stack of moving boxes, or a week's worth of groceries without breaking a sweat. For broke buyers, this car's simplicity means repairs stay cheap and quick. Injector clean kits run about $25, and most jobs are weekend DIY projects. Still, there's a hidden trap. As these cars age, fuel injectors can clog, causing rough idle or sluggish starts. Here's the broke man's test. With the engine idling, listen for a faint clicking from the injectors. If it's erratic, or the idle stumbles, run a fuel pressure sweep, or drop in a $25 injector cleaner kit before you buy. The Fit's only real compromise is road noise at highway speeds. But in return, you get a car that's light on gas, big on space, and built to take city abuse for years. For anyone who needs maximum utility in a small, affordable package, the Fit stands out as the king of clever cargo. No gimmicks, no dealer games, just honest engineering that keeps you moving. Number 9. The 2003 to 2007 Scion XB is the box on wheels that turns heads and shrugs off the years with its bare-bones Toyota guts. Underneath the funky, toaster-shaped body, you get a simple 1.5-liter four-cylinder engine and a cabin stripped of the high-tech headaches that plague newer cars. No digital touchscreens to glitch, no dealer-only modules to fail, just switches, relays, and wiring you can trace with a flashlight. The real win for broke buyers is the low-tech interior. If a window stops working, a replacement switch is usually under $20, and you can swap it in with a screwdriver. Full cabin lighting and switch sweeps let you spot hidden wiring issues, especially on cars from flood-prone states. If you find green corrosion or flickering dash lights, you've likely dodged a flood-damaged bullet. ECU failures are almost unheard of in this generation, and most electrical gremlins are fixed with junkyard parts, not dealer bills. With its upright seating, flat floor, and cavernous cargo space, the XB is the rolling toolbox for anyone who wants maximum utility on a shoestring budget. It's rare enough to stand out in a parking lot, yet every critical part is shared with common Toyotas, keeping repairs dirt cheap. For anyone tired of dealer games and tech traps, the Scion XB is a breath of fresh air, quirky, practical, and nearly impossible to kill. 8th place goes to the 1999 to 2007 Chevrolet Silverado 1500, the full-size truck that refuses to quit even after 2 decades of hauling, towing, and winter road salt. The GMT 800 generation Silverado is famous for its no-nonsense V8 engines, either the 4.8 or 5.3 liter, paired with a simple, bulletproof 4-speed automatic. These trucks were built for work, not for pampering, and that's exactly why they keep going long after the fancy new pickups have gone back to the dealer for warranty work. If you need to tow a trailer, haul lumber, or just want a ride that shrugs off abuse, the Silverado is the blue-collar answer for under $5,000. But here's the make-or-break test every broke buyer needs to do. Get under the truck, grab a hammer, and tap along the frame and cross members, especially behind the cab and above the rear axle. Surface rust flakes off with a wire brush and a can of paint, but if your hammer punches through or the metal sounds hollow, you're looking at frame rot, not just rust. In the Rust Belt, these trucks can look fine up top, but hide fatal frame cancer underneath. A silent killer that turns a deal into scrap metal. The good news? If the frame's solid, everything else is cheap and easy. Ball joints, brakes, alternators, all run $50 to $100 at any parts store. The Silverado's only real downside is gas mileage, but for anyone who needs real truck capability without dealer games or tech headaches, nothing else in this price range hauls as hard or lasts as long. Just don't skip the hammer test before you buy. Number 7. The 2003 to 2011 Ford Crown Victoria is the full-size sedan that laughs in the face of abuse. Built for cops, cabbies, and anyone who needs a car that just won't quit. Under the hood sits a 4.6-liter V8, the same engine that survived high-speed chases and endless taxi shifts, racking up over 500,000 miles in city fleets with nothing more than oil, brakes, and the occasional alternator, usually under $100. The body-on-frame design makes repairs a breeze. You can swap out fenders and bumpers with basic hand tools, and the rear-wheel drive setup shrugs off potholes and curb hits most modern cars would limp away from. The P71 police package adds heavy-duty cooling and suspension, but here's the broke man's test. Let it idle for 15 minutes, then take it for a drive. If the temp gauge stays steady and there's no coolant smell, you've got a winner. Any overheating or warning lights mean the cooling system's tired, but most fixes are cheap and easy. Gas mileage is the only real downside, but for buyers chasing maximum miles per dollar, nothing else in this price range brings tank-like toughness and dirt-cheap repairs like the Crown Vic. It's the last of the old-school American workhorses, simple, honest, and built to take a beating. Number 6, the 2005 to 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee is the SUV that laughs at potholes, snowdrifts, and muddy job sites, all while keeping broke buyers in the game for less than $5,000. Under the hood, you'll find a range of engines, but the real magic is in the four-wheel drive system. When it's healthy, this Jeep can crawl over rocks, pull trailers, and muscle through blizzards that strand lesser crossovers. But here's where the car industry hides the catch. The transfer case and 4x4 electronics are notorious for sneaky failures, especially after years of road salt and water crossings. Before you hand over cash, do the broke man's test. Engage low range, turn the wheel at a crawl, and listen for any grinding or chatter from underneath. If you hear it, that's transfer case trouble, and a used replacement runs about $600, not counting labor. Another silent killer is wiring corrosion in the underbody harnesses, which can throw random warning lights or kill the four-wheel drive entirely. Pop the hood, check for brittle wires and green corrosion near connectors. If it's clean, you're ahead of the game. The Grand Cherokee stands out as the working man's SUV, tough, simple, and built for real-world abuse. But skip the transfer case test, and you could end up with a driveway ornament instead of a winter warrior. For anyone who needs genuine off-road muscle and towing on a shoestring, this Jeep delivers. Just make sure the 4x4 system passes the test before you roll the dice. Number 5. The 2004 to 2008 Acura TL is where luxury meets the broke man's budget, because depreciation is the only reason this car sits under $5,000. Under the hood, you get Honda's legendary J-Series 3.2-liter V6, a power plant known for hitting 250,000 miles with nothing but oil changes and timing belt swaps every 100,000. The TL doesn't just promise smooth power, it delivers heated leather seats, a real sunroof, and a cabin that still feels high-end even after a decade of use. But here's what the dealers hope you overlook: the electronics. Navigation modules and climate control brains can glitch out, and a replacement nav module will run about $150 used. Not a disaster, but a surprise if you're not ready. That's why every smart buyer brings a compression gauge, less than $40 at any parts store, and checks all 6 cylinders for even pressure. Strong, even numbers mean the V6 is good for years. Low or uneven means you walk. The TL's automatic transmission can be the weak link, but careful test drives, look for smooth shifts, no jerking or slipping, weed out the troublemakers. If all checks out, you get a car that rides like a $30,000 sedan for the price of a set of tires on most new cars. The The Acura TL is proof that you don't have to settle for bare bones to get reliability. Just steer clear of neglected electronics, do the compression test, and you'll drive in comfort without dealer games or surprise bills. Number 4. The 2010 to 2013 Kia Soul is the modern-looking box that proves you don't need a fortune or a time machine to get a reliable ride with real personality. Underneath that funky design sits a basic non-turbo 4-cylinder engine and a curb weight just over 2,600 pounds, making the Soul light on gas and easy on brakes. Insurance rates stay low thanks to its hatchback body and modest repair costs, and you won't find any dealer-only electronics here. Most switches and relays are simple, off-the-shelf parts. The Soul's real edge is its blend of new car style with old-school simplicity. You get Bluetooth and power windows, but without the complicated modules that turn newer cars into money pits. Early models have a strong track record for reliability, with many owners reporting over 200,000 miles on nothing but routine oil changes and the occasional under $25 blower resistor swap when the fan stops working. But here's the one test every broke buyer needs to run. Cycle every heater, AC, and fan speed setting, then check every cabin switch, windows, locks, lights, and radio. Any flickering, dead spots, or weird behavior can point to wiring gremlins, often from water leaks or past jump starts, but most fixes are cheap with used parts. For anyone tired of the same old sedans, the Soul offers a fresh look, low running costs, and a cabin that feels bigger than it looks, without trapping you in a cycle of pricey repairs. It's proof that even as the car industry pushes tech and upsells, there are still honest, budget-friendly options for people who just want to get to work and back without drama. Number 3. The 2004 to 2009 Toyota Prius is the car that turned hybrid tech from a rich man's gamble into a broke commuter's secret weapon. Under the hood, you get the legendary Synergy Drive, a gas-electric system that sips fuel, often delivering 45 to 50 miles per gallon, even after 200,000 miles. But here's where the car industry's scare tactics fall apart. While dealers warn you about battery replacements costing thousands, the truth is most Prius batteries last well over a decade, and when they do go, you don't need a new pack, just a module swap, usually $800 to $1,500 at local shops or DIY with salvage parts. That's a fraction of what the dealers want you to believe. Taxi fleets across America have run these Priuses past 400,000 miles with nothing more than routine oil changes and the occasional module refresh, proving the drivetrain is built for abuse, not just city errands. But don't let the tech intimidate you. The broke man's test is simple. Bring an $80 Bluetooth OBD2 scanner and a smartphone loaded with the Dr. Prius or Hybrid Assistant app. Plug in, run a battery state of health scan, and watch for module voltage spreads. Healthy packs show less than a half-volt difference between cells, and no warning codes like P0A80 or P3000. If you see a spread over 0.8 volts or a battery code, walk away or negotiate hard, because you're looking at a pack on its last legs. For the careful buyer, cleaning the battery cooling fan behind the rear seat, just 2 clips and a vacuum, can add years to battery life, a $20 fix that most sellers ignore. Inside, the Prius is pure function. A hatchback with fold-flat seats, space for a mountain bike, and a climate control system that rarely quits. The only real weak spots are the combination meter and inverter coolant pump, both easy DIY fixes for under $300 if they ever go. For broke buyers who drive long miles or want to dodge gas station pain, the Prius is the ultimate tech bargain. Just run the battery test, skip the fear-mongering, and you'll have a car that outsmarts both the pump and the dealer's game. Number 2. The 2007 to 2012 Nissan Sentra is the budget sedan that can quietly outlast its reputation, if you know how to spot the one trap that's taken down thousands of unsuspecting buyers. On the surface, the Sentra looks like the perfect broke man's commuter. A simple 2.0-liter 4-cylinder, basic interior, and just enough tech to keep you comfortable without drowning you in dealer-only repairs. But here's the twist the car industry buries in fine print. Starting in 2012, Nissan swapped in a cost-cutting CVT automatic transmission that's been the subject of class action lawsuits and horror stories from coast to coast. Failures can hit as early as 60,000 miles, and a replacement will set you back over $4,000, more than the car itself. The good news? If you stick to 2007 through 2011 Sentras with the 2.0 engine and a conventional automatic or manual, you dodge the CVT time bomb entirely. These pre-CVT Sentras routinely cross 250,000 miles with little more than oil changes, brake pads, and the occasional $80 alternator. But the devil's in the details. Sellers and small lots love to blur the line between years, hoping you won't notice the transmission lurking under the hood. That's why every smart buyer runs the broke man's VIN decode before they even show up. On any Nissan, the 10th digit of the VIN tells you the year, B for 2011, C for 2012. If you see a C, walk away. Under the hood, look for a transmission dipstick. CVTs are sealed and don't have one. On the test drive, a real automatic will shift in steps. Feel for the gear changes. If the revs climb smooth and steady with no shifts, you're in CVT territory, and that's your sign to bail. There's a reason the Sentra lands so high on this list. It's the perfect example of how a single design change, one buried in paperwork and never mentioned on the lot, can turn a reliable car into a financial trap. For the broke buyer, knowledge is power. Run the VIN, check the dipstick, and feel the shifts. Get it right, and you'll have a sedan that shrugs off abuse and keeps your wallet safe. Get it wrong, and the transmission bill will crush you faster than any payment plan the dealer could dream up. The Sentra is living proof that doing your homework is the only way to beat the system and set yourself up for years of cheap, dependable miles. And finally, in first place, the 2004 to 2012 Chevrolet Malibu, the ultimate broke man's workhorse, hiding in plain sight on every used car lot from coast to coast. This is the sedan for people who don't care about badges or bragging rights, just getting to work and back without a breakdown or a sky-high repair bill. Under the hood, you'll usually find GM's 2.2 or 2.4-liter Ecotec 4-cylinder, a dead simple engine that shrugs off abuse and is easier to fix than most lawnmowers. The transmission, the 4T45E automatic, has been around forever, and the best part is, if it ever does fail, you'll find used replacements at almost every salvage yard in America for under $400, sometimes with a warranty taped right to the case. Brake pads, alternators, steering parts. These are the cheapest in the country, and every corner parts store has them on the shelf for pocket change. For broke buyers, the Malibu's real superpower is its parts interchangeability. Door handles, window switches, even whole suspension assemblies swap straight from hundreds of thousands of Malibus, G6s, and Saturns. That means when something wears out, you're not stuck paying dealer prices or scouring the internet for unicorn parts. You just hit the local pull-apart, grab what you need, and bolt it on in an afternoon. Even the body panels and glass are so common that a fender bender is a cheap fix instead of a total loss. But here's the move that separates the winners from the walking. Before you buy, pull the transmission dipstick and take a good sniff. Burnt, dark, or gritty fluid means the trans is on borrowed time. On the test drive, pay close attention to the 2-3 shift. If it hesitates or clunks, that's a warning sign. But the upside is, you can swap a used unit for less than a month's rent. Most Malibus run well past 200,000 miles on basic maintenance. And with so many on the road, every repair is a backyard project, not a dealer bill. The Malibu isn't flashy, and it's never been cool. But that's exactly why it's the king of the broke man's car hunt. Dealers overlook them, buyers ignore them, and that's your advantage. Because you can scoop up a solid runner for next to nothing, fix anything that breaks with junkyard parts, and keep rolling while everyone else is stuck in a payment trap. In a world where the car industry wants to sell you tech you don't need and repairs you can't afford, the Malibu is the last honest sedan standing. If you want a car that just works, costs nothing to keep alive, and lets you beat the system at its own game, this is the one to buy. For every hard-working American tired of getting squeezed by greedy dealers and overpriced parts, the Malibu is the ultimate answer. Simple, tough, and always ready for another 100,000 miles. From the humble Toyota Camry at number 17 to the unbeatable Chevrolet Malibu at number 1, these 17 cars prove that hardworking Americans don't need to fall for the car industry's latest traps to get dependable wheels under $5,000. Across every entry, one pattern is clear: simplicity wins. The most reliable picks use tried-and-true engines, basic transmissions, and affordable parts. Machines built before greedy upgrades and tech gimmicks snuck in to drive up repair bills. But this list also exposed shocking pitfalls, like the Honda Civic's hidden engine cracks and the Nissan Sentra's CVT disaster. Reminders that even legends have weak spots if you don't know where to look. What sets the top ranks apart isn't just mileage or badge. It's maximum availability, cheap fixes, and the power for buyers to spot trouble before it strikes. In a world where they want you to buy new every few years, these 17 survivors show that with a little knowledge and grit, we can beat the system and drive home a car that never breaks the bank.